We're back in today, Week 8 Waiver Wire editions. Surely you're 4-3 or better in your fantasy league now. If not, you got some work to do, and if you are, time to make that last-ditch push. The first half of the fantasy season is over. Heading into the second half, you better be above 500 the latter half of the season. You got to secure those bye weeks in the playoffs, and the waiver wire, as we get more clarity week in, week out, is dwindling down in players you can choose. I'm going to look at this article. I'm going to break down who I think you should be adding, who you shouldn't be adding. Now, the waiver wire is dwindling, but there's a couple names you're going to want to have at the top of your waiver wire edition. We're getting to the point where, one of the best waiver wire editions is actually going to be defenses. Defenses can, if you have D/special teams in your lineup, choosing the right one of those can definitely win you your week. If you get 12 points out of your defense versus getting 4, it's an 8-point swing. So keep that in mind. Some of the defenses might be a higher priority claim than some of the guys in this video. Now, the first name on this list, now I'm going to break down every name if I think you should add him, if I think you shouldn't. Kamani Vidal, again, I'm making this on Monday before Monday Night Football. Haven't seen the Chargers play, but Kamani Vidal's first game from injury, right? Pretty solid. He had 4 carries, 11 yards. He was used in the receiving game. He had 2 catches, made the most of them for 40 yards and a touchdown, and a nice win over the Broncos. Now, we'll see his role on Monday Night Football. Not expecting too much of a thing. This is definitely J.K. Dobbins' backfield. J.K. Dobbins is going to get almost all of the work on early downs. Kamani Vidal he might steal some of that third down role. Now, Gus Edwards is on IR, making this guy a very, very nice kind of handcuff running back for J.K. Dobbins. Vidal will get some of the work, but also think of it like this. I have J.K. Dobbins on my fantasy team, and I'm a little nervous because obviously Dobbins has dealt with big injuries in the past. A big injury, and Vidal could step up. So he's a premium handcuff back, available in 85% of leagues. I do like him as an ad. Let's see him on Monday Night Football. Roschon Johnson, 15% rostered. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not too big of a fan here. He's a solid third down type back right here. He's had some work on the goal line for the Chicago Bears. Bears offense, yes, Caleb Williams looks all right. They have the receivers. I think they'll get better as the season goes on. But really, it's DeAndre Swift right now. Swift looked bad at the start of the season, but Swift has really found his own as of late. And Roschon Johnson, premium type, handcuff, I guess, but handcuff for the Bears, not too exciting for me. Personally, I'm not rostering him. Jaylen Warren, 41% rostered. He's worth a roster spot if he's on waivers. I'm not excited again. The Steelers' offense did look good with Russell Wilson. Warren was the better of the 2 running backs in 2023. I guess I agree with it, but Najee Harris honestly has been performing from a fantasy perspective and a real-life perspective in the last couple of weeks. So I think it's definitely a running back by committee type here. Really just a handcuff running back, not too exciting. Justice Hill, we're seeing a trend here. All of these running backs now available on waivers, they're all handcuffs. So really you're playing the game of, can you predict the injury? Now, Justice Hill is nice because he has a bit of a floor. Justice Hill he's been getting some receiving work out of this backfield. There's been games where he's getting 6-7 targets, running some routes from the halfback position. Derrick Henry typically is more of that bell cow, run somebody over type workhorse. Justice Hill has been getting some receiving work, PPR type floor. You like to see that. And if Derrick Henry goes down for any reason, he is old, and Justice Hill immediately would be the RB1 in a really, really solid offense that runs the ball every single time. So I think Justice Hill is worth a roster spot. You can go ahead and add him. Tyler Goodson, 14% rostered. So this is my take on this. Jonathan Taylor is probably going to be back next week. If Jonathan Taylor is not back next week, Tyler Goodson is worth flex consideration. And any week that Jonathan Taylor is out, Tyler Goodson is a flex consideration. And if Jonathan Taylor is healthy, Tyler Goodson should not be on any rosters at all. He's splitting time with Trey Sermon. It's really a running back by committee. But Goodson has looked better, and he has been getting more volume. So I don't really know. I think that Tyler Goodson, really, it just depends on clarity with the Jonathan Taylor situation. Hopefully we get that by Tuesday night when waivers run. Sean Tucker, pretty similar to Kamani Vidal. And you can see here, he's my second person I want to break down. I'm excited about Sean Tucker. I definitely think he's worth a claim. He had 36 fantasy points in Week 6, but that was with Rachaad White not being healthy, and it was kind of a weird game script there against the Saints when they scored 50 points. Yeah, that ain't happening every week. Now, Rachaad White, let's talk about it. He's questionable to play. We haven't seen Tucker on Monday Night Football. How's he going to follow up that huge game? And let's not forget, this is not his first game of the season. He's done nothing every other week of the season. So if he comes out on Monday Night Football and does nothing, that's very, very concerning. They said they're going to do like a running back by committee type approach. Sean Tucker's obviously going to be third in this committee. What you have to hope happens, and it's a bit far-fetched, Tampa Bay is currently, they're looking good in the standings, right? They're looking really, really good in the standings, and they have a matchup with Atlanta upcoming next week. I don't really know. You need him to trade Rachaad White. Rachaad White has to be injured, dead. I don't know. He's got to get traded. And he is a trade candidate in some of these reports. So if he gets injured or traded and they have Bucky Irving, who's ahead of Sean Tucker already, this is an RB3 in a good offense. So it's a bit far-fetched, but he did just have 36 points. Really, I don't really see a way in which this guy can work his way to an RB1, because even if Rachaad White is out, for the year, then Bucky Irving's going to get most of the work. But it probably would be more of like a 60-40 split with Sean Tucker. Really, really confusing here. Worth an ad, in my opinion, though. Heading to receivers, and this is where things get nice. Jawan Jennings. Brandon Ayuk, his leg, man. His leg, it's gross. Nasty, bro. I hate to see it. And Jawan Jennings has disappeared ever since the receivers came back. Debo, Ayuk. Now, Debo left with an illness. Debo should be back for the next game. Ricky Pearsall, we're going to talk about him pretty soon. Jawan Jennings was not able to do anything when the whole team's healthy. But now that the whole team is not healthy, I think Jawan Jennings could come back to a bit of an elevated role. Obviously, I think Jawan Jennings actually missed this game with a hip injury, but now he should be back for the upcoming week. And yeah, he's a borderline flex play, but really not, because I wouldn't be starting him. He's like a wide receiver 4/5 in my opinion. Should be on a roster though, especially with Ayuk probably out for the year. Keon Coleman is somebody also worth rostering. He had a 21% roster target share in week number 7. Amari Cooper, I think it's going to help out Keon Coleman because he'll be, taking that bulk of the defenders, views. Keon Coleman was operating as a rookie wide receiver 1 for the Bills team. Now you have Amari Cooper on the perimeter of this offense, and Keon Coleman with Amari Cooper played really, really well. 7 targets, which is a season high. 4 catches, season high. Looked really, really solid. 125 yards. Don't mind if I do. Keon Coleman, he's worth a roster spot. Ricky Pearsall, dude got shot in the chest. Dude is now out there performing at a high-ish level. Didn't really play great. He had 21 receiving yards, but he did lead the wide receivers in snaps. No Jawan Jennings, no Brandon Ayuk, no Deebo Samuel. Deebo comes back. Jawan Jennings comes back. Now he's the third, really fourth on the totem pole behind George Kittle. So he is going to, maybe not get the targets right off the bat. But we don't really know what this guy is. This guy's a rookie receiver, and you're kind of going to get a bit of a discount. We've been looking at the type of waiver wire players we've seen. Coleman, these guys are 32% rostered, 29% rostered. If we look at Ricky Pearsall, he should be available in a good amount of leagues, and we don't really know what we have yet. It could be a bust, could be a boom. So I would add him for sure. Cedric Tillman, not too excited about this. Yeah, he looked good, but you don't want anybody in the Browns offense. Tillman and Jerry Jeudy, I'm sure that one of these guys might be worth a roster spot. Jameis Winston's going to be the quarterback moving forward, most likely. He's I think he can support good fantasy receiver type numbers. Who do you choose between Tillman and Jerry Jeudy? Go ahead and make that decision. I'm not. Troy Franklin, borderline flex play every week. Rep Cortland Sutton. Romeo Doubs, I want to talk about. Romeo Doubs had a hissy fit, a temper tantrum. Call it what you want. He said, throw me the damn ball. And he's been getting the damn ball, man. Look at this. 8 targets, 4 targets, 10 targets. When he had 4 targets, he had 2 touchdowns to still save the fantasy week. And he's had 94 yards, 8 catches, season high. He's good, man. But how do you pick? Packers have so many receiving weapons. Dobbs, Reed, Watson, whatever his name is, Kraft. Josh Jacobs is catching touchdowns now, finally. It's hard to choose who's going to blow up on a certain week. But Jordan Love really is balling out. Dobbs is a borderline. I think he's a solid type flex play moving forward until he has a couple dud type weeks. And then we got Jalen Tolbert, should be rostered. Wide receiver 2 on the Cowboys. Quarterbacks, 2 is coming back. Am I excited? Probably not until I see him perform at a high level. Drake May looks good. Hunter Henry's probably the only tight end I want to mention here. And that's it, boys. Ooh, Zach Ertz is tempting. But those are the waiver wire claims for week number 8. Comment down below if you got any questions. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Smash the like and subscribe button. Let's go.